We are now just 116 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that today, of course, was the day, thanks to Good Morning America, that we finally got to see some new footage related to The Rise of Skywalker, giving us a glimpse of course, Kylo Ren and Rey battling on top of the Death Star wreckage, as well as Palpatine Dialogue, and even Dark Rey, wielding her double-bladed lightsaber. However, just yesterday over at D23, we learned a little bit more about this film, and Daisy Ridley was able to offer her reaction, and basically her response to Palpatine and how he's going to be utilized in this movie by J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and even George Lucas on top of all of that. Now, this is what Daisy Ridley had to say about Palpatine's role in The Rise of Skywalker. She states, "He's the biggest baddie in Star Wars history. Now that we've done the story, I'm like, it couldn't have happened any other way. It had to be that. But he's very instrumental to the plot of the film. It's not just like he appears again, it's all explained." Now, that's what Daisy Ridley had to say about Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, what's really interesting about that is that Rey, alright, is going to be a central piece to the story, and Daisy Ridley, what she had to say about this, about Palpatine and how he's going to be used in the movie, is that he's not just going to appear without an explanation. There's going to be a big part of the movie that will explain the role of Palpatine and exactly how he returned. Now, this most likely alludes to how Palpatine's Sith spirit is actually said to take over the body of the Dark Acolyte, who is actually said to be portrayed by no other than Matt Smith himself. So, with that being said, we do know that Palpatine is going to be the glue of this movie. He really is going to be the driving force for the hype of this movie, and, well, he already is, if you think about it. Ever since we got that teaser trailer back in, of course, April of 2019, just this year, over at Star Wars Celebration, a lot of fans went wild after hearing Palpatine's laughter in the background at the very end. And now, in this new teaser trailer, we actually do get to hear lines of dialogue of Palpatine saying something around the lines of, "Your journey comes to an end." Now, we do know that Ian McDiarmid is back for the role of Palpatine, which is very inspiring and great to know. It feels authentic to bring him back. It only makes a lot of sense to get Ian McDiarmid to portray the role. You can't really get anybody else. Even Ian himself said a couple of years ago that he wouldn't want anybody else to portray Palpatine, either in the Skywalker saga or a spin-off film or whatever have you, right? So, moving on forward, what Daisy Ridley had to say over at D23, I find it very intriguing of how she says that he's very instrumental to the plot of the film. This most likely also refers to how he's going to grow as far as his presence goes in The Rise of Skywalker. So, his presence in The Rise of Skywalker is going to be very light and in the background, basically like a looming figure in the first act, where you're going to hear voices and holograms and visions, you name it. In the second act, he's going to begin to grow, and then in the third act, he's going to blossom as, of course, the full-on villain, taking on the role of the Dark Acolyte's body. And you can really see what J.J. Abrams is trying to do. He's trying to really make this movie the darkest Star Wars film in history, in the Skywalker saga at least, and that's what he wants to do. And I think that there's a lot of examples of this, with the return of Palpatine, with, of course, Dark Rey wielding her double-bladed lightsaber. On top of all of that, we also have the idea of possession and resurrection coming into play in The Rise of Skywalker. This film has a lot to offer, and what they're really trying to do with Episode 9, it really makes it stand out like this could very well be darker than that of Revenge of the Sith. They have the chance to make it darker than that actual film, and that's what they're aiming to do, as long as they hit the notes correctly. Now, George Lucas is involved with this film to a significant level. We do know that he actually was very well involved with the rewrites of Episode 9 for the months of November and December of 2018, just late last year. And what they're trying to put together is a movie that is going to conclude Kylo and Rey's story in a unique way that we would have never seen before in a Skywalker saga film. So it's really going to differ in comparison to how Luke and Leia were treated in Episode, 6, or should I say 4, 5, and 6, and how that's all done. So with the character of Rey being the main focus, and Kylo Ren also being the main focus, We have Palpatine looming in the background, over both Kylo and Rey as the major villain. And that's the thing here, we do know that this film is going to offer a lot of that. A lot of dark tones in this movie, as well as a lot of, dark aspects that will be entering into the Rise of Skywalker that we would have never seen before if it weren't for J.J. Abrams returning, or Chris Terrio and his help, and let alone George Lucas, the creator of all things Star Wars, coming back for Episode 9. I could not be happier about that decision. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.